For many student athletes, college is about more than just a game. It's about finding a place to belong. For Hampton University lacrosse player Miles Lancaster, that search led him to an HBCU after experiencing racism and isolation at his previous school. Miles tells how one transfer changed everything. Before coming to Hampton University, Lancaster attended Marist University, a predominantly white institution, where he says racism and isolation made it hard for him to just be himself.
I would say one specific occasion, and this was kind of one that really set it off, was when I got into a dispute with one of my teammates who had used the N-word, but it was to one of his friends, I guess, back at home. When I addressed him and asked him, like, you know, what was the reason for it and, like, why he would say that while it's around me. Because it's one thing if you say it, I'm not around, there's nothing I can really do. But if you say that word around me, I'm going to speak on it, especially if it's in front of me. And he basically said, you know, just like kind of a screw you, basically, like, you know, it's my friend. He lets me say it. Like, what's the problem? It's my house, my rules, because I was split from my class that year. I didn't get the same housing as them, so I was usually not, you know, living with them. But anytime I would go to hang out and stuff like that would transpire, and then I was met with something that wasn't even an apology, but basically like, you know, I'm gonna be this way because I want to. I knew they had no respect for me, so.
Miles says he often found himself as one of the only black students and one of the only black players on his team. That lack of community took a toll, both mentally and emotionally. Eventually, he knew something had to change.
Early, sort of like later part of my second semester was when I knew that, you know, I didn't have the same relationships with the teammates that I had once before, and it also seemed a lot more toxic in terms of just overall, like, how it's treated, and then just like subtle, like, you know, microaggressions and sometimes blatant racism. Sometimes not even on my end, but like, you know, the disrespect of like other cultures and stuff like that, and like traditions and stuff like that, were, you know, I couldn't be a part of that. I couldn't be around that. I couldn't be a part of a team that was turning me into something that I was not. So I knew that it was time to leave.
That search led him here, to Hampton University, an HBCU with a strong sense of history, pride, and community.
Being able to see someone who looks like me and someone who kind of relates to my struggle that I go through every day, as opposed to being somewhere where, you know, that was only 3% of the school population, is, you know, you can't really put that into words, like, in terms of how comfortable and, you know, just being around your people and how important that is.
Miles Lancaster said that coming to Hampton was like finally exhaling. After dealing with racism at his old school, this HBCU gave him what he never had, real community. And to Miles, that made all the difference. That support has translated into confidence, both on and off the field. And while lacrosse has traditionally been a predominantly white sport, Miles hopes his story can help change that narrative.
There's still a lot of people that are, you know, I guess having lacrosse as their second sport, and I feel like that's continuing to grow, and it's becoming more accessible to people in our community. I think in regards to it being something that people can afford to play, you know, I guess the migration to that sport in terms of it becoming more diverse and having more people representing it will only continue to grow. But it's expensive, so that's probably been the main thing that's been keeping us and other races out.
For Miles, choosing an HBCU was about more than athletics. It was about choosing himself.
How many of my relatives have graduated from here? I mean, I had 9 relatives here. It just goes to show that, you know, this will only be a stepping stone for what I can do in the future. So, you know, just hearing all the other alums and stuff like that, what they had to say during alumni games, so like, you know, how much they, you know, love the school and how much it set them forth for their future. It's nothing but inspiring to see if I can do the exact same thing, which I know I will.
Today, Miles Lancaster says he's playing freely, with confidence, purpose, and a community that has his back. A reminder that sometimes the best move isn't just about where you play, but where you belong. Reporting from Hampton University, I'm Connie Rogers.